everybody, welcome to Art at School. So today we are going to try out a bit of a more challenging example. Well, not that challenging, but it's much more, it's leveled up than the basic one we did in the previous example. In this example, we are required to solve for more than one unknown. So let's look at the question. So in this example, we are asked to calculate the size of A, B, C, and D. Those are our unknowns. It might look a bit tricky at first glance, but when we work step by step, you'll see that it's actually quite manageable and doable. So, if we look at this problem, there's quite a lot to solve for, right? 4 unknowns in this case. Now, if we look at it, there's many ways to start, and when I see it, we have 2 lines that are parallel to each other, which is TS and PQ, and we are given angle C, which is on the same line as this angle 104 degrees. So if you just look at this, what do you notice? I see angles on a straight line, right? So what does that mean? When we have angles on a straight line, we know that whatever angle is added, all these angles that are added together, 154 plus C, it will give us 180 degrees, because angles on a straight line equals to 180 degrees. So let's write that down, and we always give a reason. So 154 degrees plus C is equals to 180 degrees. Our reason is angles on a straight line. And if we solve for C, we take over the 154 degrees, and it will then carry a minus, because when we carry it over the equal sign, the number or the constant will take the inverse operation, which is a minus in this case. So C is equals to C is equals to 26 degrees. 180 minus 154 degrees is equals to 26 degrees. So now that we have solved for C, surely these 2 parallel lines, TS and PR, tells us something. So now, if we look at it, did you see what I see? That they are alternate angles, that A and C are alternate angles, because TS is parallel to PR. It makes the Z shape. So in that case, what does that mean? It means that A is equals to C. So we put that down. Our reason for A equals to C is alternate angles. This is a shorthand for it. Always check with your teacher if what they prefer, how they prefer the reason to be written, but this should be okay. Alternate angles, and why? How do we know this? TS is parallel to PR. Right. So now that we have solved for C and A, we are left with D and B. So some of you might have said, but wait, we don't just see a Z. We see an F. And that's also perfectly correct. That is right. Because TS is parallel to PR, in this case, we also see that there are corresponding angles. And we know that corresponding angles make an F shape. And what does this mean? In this case, it means B is equals to 48 degrees. So let's write that down. B is equals to 48 degrees, and our reason is corresponding angles. Again, I wrote this as a short way, and the reason is TS is parallel to PR. Now that we have that, we are left with D. Now there are many ways to solve for D. One way is If we look at S, Q, and R, what shape does it make? A triangle, right? So what do you know about the interior angles of a triangle? They are equals to, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is equals to 180 degrees. So if we use this fact, then we can solve for D because we have already solved for C. We found out what is the size of angle C and angle B. So let us substitute it in. 26 degrees plus 48 degrees plus D is equals to 180 degrees. And you must, well, just going back to this step, you should always give your reason. In this case, our reason is interior angles of triangle QRS. Or you could say SQR or RSQ. It shouldn't be a problem. So now when we solve for D, well, let's rather add these two constants on this side. 26 degrees plus 48 degrees is 74 plus D is equals to 180 degrees. And if you want to get D alone, we got to take 74 degrees to the other side, and therefore it will be minus. So D is equals to 180 degrees minus 74 degrees, and that gives us 106 degrees. Now, another way we could solve for D is that some of you might have seen that 154 degrees is equals to D plus B, and that is because it is the exterior angle of a triangle. Thus, angle 154 degrees is the exterior angle to the triangle SQR. So, therefore, D plus B should equal to 154 degrees, and that's one way you could solve for B, or rather D. And another way to do it is, if we look at the line USR, or rather UR, let me get pointer. If we look at this line, what do we know about angle DA and 48? Rather the sum of it is equals to 180 degrees because of angles on a straight line. And since we already calculated A over here, we will simply say 180 degrees minus 26, A is equals to minus 26 degrees. A is equals to 26 degrees. So 180 minus 26 degrees minus 48 degrees will give us D, which should give us 106 degrees. So those are just some of the ways that we can solve for D. What I'm trying to highlight is that there's no specific way to start the problem. Some might have seen in first glance that B is equals to 48 degrees, and that's perfectly okay. As long as you work step by step, and as you see, we ended up solving for all the unknowns. Anyway, that's it guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.